members of his family. You know, none of the clubs want to be the first ones up the street, and they used to, when they picked, trade off so that, you know, maybe a few favors were called in. Well, this year, for the first time, whoever picked first had to stay first, so Juniata Park had the distinction of doing it. They're starting to move up. We should expect this marvelous music that we've all come to identify with the Mummers in just a few moments.
You can see Don is inside that massive jukebox. I feel like I'm on the Evening Magazine set a little bit as I look behind me, but Don is inside there as he portrays Mr. Music. This is the 10th parade for the Juniata Park String Band.
And you know, we're going to hear the Bristol Stomp, something from American Bandstand. This is Rockin' Rumblin' Saturday Night, the lead-off string band of 1988. And here they come. Juniata Park String Band, Captain Don McGrogan there.
That was at a great presentation, complete with their own version of Dick Clark. Did you see that? An American Bandstand.
It was. The poodle skirts and everything else brought back a few Philadelphian memories.
The Mummers Parade continues. When we come back, we'll have the music of the Harrogate String Band, so stay right there. Looking at the Harrogate String Band as they prepare to perform here on Broad Street.
They're going to be bringing us all that jazz. You know, this is the first club that really instituted choreography, and now, of course, it's an integral part of every program.
All right, the captain is Dennis McCoach. Ladies and gentlemen, the Harrogate String Band. The Mummers comes out in full colors here by the Harrogate String Bands. Costumes that are half male and half female. I love it.
That's marvelous. And you know, that's fairly traditional. That goes back to the way things were done years ago.
All That Jazz was their theme. Their captain, Dennis McCoach.
And we take now a quick break. And when we come back, we will have the Greater Buck String Band with Guys and Dolls. County String Band. I'm Diane Allen with Ray Murray, and the theme of this string band is Guys and Dolls.
Captain Stephen Mills out of Frankfurt is leading the Greater Bucks County String Band in this year's presentation. This is Stephen's debut as the captain. He's had a 10-year association with this particular string band.
And it's really a family affair. His wife, his mother, his father-in-law, brother-in-law, all marching right now in this string band.
The Greater Bucks County String Band ready to perform in the 1988 Mummers Parade.
You're a fan of the Broadway musical Guys and Dolls. I know you love this presentation by the Greater Bucks County String Band.
You know, maybe no other group, maybe no other string band knows how hard you have to work to do well in the parade, because they haven't had a first-place win for 23 years now, but they're still a very dedicated group.
They are. They do a lot of charity work. A good group. We'll be back with more string bands after this.
Performance here at the 1988 Mummers Parade, led by Captain Joe Burke. I'm a softie. Maybe I'm a softie for good TV themes, but that was delightful as the Crean String Band presents Sitcom Symphony.
You knew every song.
I was humming every song.
You spent a good part of the 60s in front of a television set.
Yeah, I don't want to say I'm a couch potato, but yeah.
We're talking Spud Murray here, right?
Yes, indeed.
That was great. And you know, that's the club that still makes its own suits.
Oh, and they were terrific.
They really
A lot
were.
of imagination.
Really were. We have some results that I know you are waiting for. Remember all through the morning when those comic clubs were coming up the street? Well, Rich Porco is the president of the Murray Club, and we have major congratulations. Murray has a hat trick.
Yes,
First
thank you.
in club, first for captain,
first prize brigade,
for the third time in a row.
and first prize group act, too.
Did you think you could do it?
Well, we thought it was going to be tight this year because they had a restriction on us. Over 41 minutes, you would lose 100 points for every minute you were over.
And you were over, weren't
We
you?
were over, and then we had a little difficulty with a police truck here this morning, and we did lose 200 points, but we still had enough points to overcome that. And I have to say that the comics, the true mummers, came in first place again.
Just like last year, Murray was first, Liberty, Hammond, Good Timers, Puro Landy, and Henny Schultz. Remember that marvelous ship?
Showboat.
Henry Schultz was first.
Well, Rich, congratulations.
All right.
Thank you very much.
See you later.
Behind us, the Palmyra String Band is arriving at the judging area here at 15th and Market Streets.
And they are going to be presenting TV then and now. You saw little TV then? Well, Spuds Murray is getting excited about this. We're going for another musical program that'll bring back some tunes that you remember. Greg Lemanowitz is the captain.
This is Greg's first time as captain. We've had 2 debuts so far in these few string bands that we've seen already. 2 captain debuts.
This is the 16th, or they finished 16th last year. They've come in first once back in '72. They're hoping to do it again. Here's the Palmyra String Band.
explosive imagination and some great choreography went into that performance. I really enjoyed that. You know, the suits at the very beginning were black and white. They represented the early days of television.
Right.
And then the vibrant colors that all of a sudden came to life right here in front of us at the judging booth, that was just great.
Not to mention Springsteen,
Wow.
Michael Jackson, and who was that masked man?
Yeah, who was that masked man? The Lone Ranger. It's getting better all the time, and we'll be back in just a minute with last year's fourth place winner, the Aqua String Band, so don't go away. The 8 Mummers Parade, and hear it in stereo, but right here on Channel 3, and this is last year's fourth place winner, the Aqua String Band.
With Hawaii Jive-O.
approval as the Aqua String Band presents Hawaii Jive-O, complete with Surf and Spuds McKenzie.
Captain Al Primavera Jr. there, and you know, he's just been elected into the Mummers Hall of Fame. Congratulations.
Congratulations to Al. Now, coming up, when we come back, another top winner from last year, the Quaker City String Band. So don't get out of your seats. There's a lot more to come.
String Band with the last wound up, and they were in second place last year.
Well, Bob Shannon is the captain of Quaker City. He is 6 feet 10 inches tall, so he can handle some of the biggest suits to ever hit Broad Street. Watch that suit that he's wearing carefully. It is terrific, and it is huge.
And it weighs 75 pounds. As he pirouettes for us, keep that in mind. Here's the Quaker City String Band with the last wound up. Quaker City String Band, and the crowd is on its feet cheering for the
Outrageous
wonderful
costumes,
job.
spectacular makeup, great music, as my friend Malcolm Poindexter would say, it'd make a hare hug a hound dog.
They're one of the winningest bands on the street. They're hoping to move from #2 up to #1 this year. Quaker City String Band.
The very
And
tall Bob Shannon waving goodbye to the crowd, and they appreciate him very much.
stay right where you are because Greater Overbrook is on its way.
At the 1988 Mummers Parade, it's got me ready to stand up. I'm almost on my feet here, so urge me to sit down. This is the Greater Overbrook String Band, ready to present their theme of Woodchopper's Ball.
We're going to say lumberjacks and woodchoppers, but the presentation was conceived with the late Woody Herman in mind. He made Woodchopper's Ball a hit record.
The captain of Greater Overbrook is Chris Caniglia. He is making his debut as captain this year.
So here's Woodchopper's Ball, Greater Overbrook String Band.
the Greater Overbrook String Band and their presentation of Woodchopper's Ball.
You know, as you look at those dancers out in front, it's hard to believe that they're not professionals, but of course they can't be. They're not allowed to be.
A couple of them had some pretty good kicking abilities, didn't they?
Surely did. Looked like they really knew what they were doing.
We're going to be back in a minute. We're going to be cruising on a sea of rhythm with the Broomall String Band, so stay with us.
Rhythm, it's going to feel like the Love Boat here. Well, relax and enjoy the sea cruise. Peter A. Broomall String Band with 3 generations of Broomalls on the street, including Pete Broomall Sr., who's the captain.
Well, with a theme like Cruising on a Sea of Rhythm, there is no chance that these people are going to get lost at sea with those costumes on. Those are the brightest oranges, the brightest yellows, the most fluorescent greens. Now, I think we've seen so far on Broad Street. They're really, really beautiful. A fine job by the Peter A. Broomall String Band.
I love the tugboat as well. It's 10 feet high, 4 feet wide, 17 feet long. There
They did a great job. Where's Gavin McLeod? They're missing. You know, I wanted to mention quickly that Peter Broomall mortgaged his home twice, we're told, to make sure that that band could get on the street at some point during their long history. So they have some real dedication there.
And coming up, Polish-American.
Broad Street 10 times. The Polish-American String Band has taken first place, and they're going to try again tonight with the theme of Gotcha.
Mystery fans are going to love the next 4 minutes. Sherlock Holmes, detectives, burglars, Inspector Gadget, even the Pink Panther with the Polish-American String Band.
Ray Danielewicz leads his Polish-American String Band away from the judging area, and another great effort by the Polish-American Club.
Very scary when they were aiming that gun right at the judges.
Exactly.
But
That revolver at the sign of Carson City.
That's right. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, it'll be the Ukrainian-American String Band getting ready to go. Their entry theme, the Bavarian Oktoberfest.
Well, the captain of Ukrainian is John Thompson. When he is not commanding this string band, he is a sergeant with the Abington Police Department. So if nothing else, their performance tonight ought to be arresting.
This band celebrating an old-fashioned Bavarian Oktoberfest with the singing and dancing and all the other things that go along with such a festival.
All right, here they are. 1988 Mummers Parade. This is the Ukrainian American String Band.
American String Band. I think they have marvelous costumes, and I want you to know that all of the suits were made by the club, including those great back pieces.
They really were well tailored, and they're very colorful, and I really like this performance a lot. I really did.
Did you give it an 87 for the beat, or?
I would give it an 87 for the beat, and I think they're going to do very well this year. I hope so. They're really a great group.
I think you're absolutely right. The Hegeman String Band is coming up.
One King, and tonight they are performing Just For You. This is the Hegeman String Band and their theme of the greatest show off Earth.
The club took two ideas, turned them into one theme. Half the club wanted Star Trek, the other half wanted a circus, so everybody got what they wanted, the greatest show off Earth.
The Hageman String Band, led by their captain, John Pignotti Jr. Some pretty interesting and entertaining characters make up the greatest show on earth, at least the one performed by the Hageman String Band.
I guess that's what a circus would look like on another planet. I buy it.
It certainly would, and as they march off, they let go of a number of balloons into the Philadelphia sky. A great performance by the Hageman String Band, who last year finished third with a presentation called Hieroglyphics Hijinks. But they went out of their way tonight, I thought, as far as color goes. Look at that. Look at that elephant behind us.
That's marvelous. And that great smoke and sound coming from it really woke us up. We were jumping out of our seats.
Are we having fun or what?
Spectacular. You know, the first place last year was Frailinger. They did live at Copacabana, Copa Banana.
Copa Banana.
Copa Banana. Cabana. They did whatever it was a great job. And not only did they do that, they did a clean sweep because Bill Bowen also won for captain. We want to take a look back at what Frailinger did last year to win first place. Freilinger String Band going for 2 in a row this year. They're going to have the theme musical marionettes.
It's no wonder that Bill Bowen and the club have taken top honors 3 times in the last 5 years. They're going for it again tonight with a theme called musical marionettes.
Bill Bowen is quite a showman. Keep your eye on this captain.
Here they are, ladies and gentlemen, in the 1988 parade, the Freilinger String Band.
most phenomenal back pieces. Geppetto has made his entrance.
Sometimes you want a string band to play forever. And that was one of those magical moments. That was really delightful. That Geppetto there is just great.
Fralinger is going for another win. They had a clean sweep last year. They'd love to see the same thing happen this year.
The 1988 Mummers Parade continues live and in stereo here on Channel 3. When we come back, it's the Durnings to find out right now as the Durning String Band performs.
Jackie Jr. is the captain. He's the grandson of the man who started all of this, Captain James Durning himself.
This is Jack's ninth year as the captain, his 22nd parade, and here is how the West was spun with the Durning String Band. Well, Jackie Jr. and his Durning String Band can hit the happy trails of Market Street now that they've turned into a great performance.
You know, Jack was one of the 8 people who had to decide on whether this parade was going to go this morning. He was one of those who voted, and I think right now he is so thrilled that he voted for a go.
He must be feeling great relief as they head off down Market Street. I I think if the Wild West was anything like that, it wasn't fun, it was a blast.
Well, we just had the Wild West Cowboys. The next is the Avalon String Band with the Indians. Right after
One is Mike Vaughn. He's one of the youngest captains on the street. He's only 21 years of age.
the Avalon String Band. And wait until you see the canoe that's going to be part of this presentation. It holds 8 horn players.
Indians never looked anything like this.
Not sure they ever played horns, but let's listen and watch Indians and How by the Avalon String Band. The Avalon String Band, and how about Mike Vaughn? What energy that captain
Was he
had.
pumped up for this day or what? He was just a dynamo out there. What a showman he was tonight.
He was dancing.
You know, it was almost as if he were out purposely to give Bill Bowen a run for his money. I thought he was really psyched up for this performance. I was impressed.
All right, Avalon String Band, and coming up when we come back, the Woodland String Band. So stay right where you be, right here. Wait till you see what the Woodland String Band has for us.
business adage, leave them wanting more.
Yeah.
Certainly applies to the Woodland String Band. We could listen to them play for a while.
I love Captain Bobby Cunningham. He cracked me up when he came out as Gypsy Rose and the rose in his teeth. That was great.
He was terrific. We're going to be back with more of the 1988 Mummers Parade in just...
Duffy String Band is going to present Mississippi River Jubilee to us and the judges.
Now, Duffy also has a young captain. Teddy Kudrick is just 22 years old. And you could say he's a lifelong member of Duffy. When he was just 18 months old, he was the mascot, even though they don't really have mascots anymore.
Let's get ready for the Duffy String Band's presentation, Mississippi River Jubilee. right, that was the Duffy String Band, originally called the Firefighters Band, and they were on fire tonight.
Yeah, in the midst of preparing for this parade, they were also busy renovating their brand new clubhouse, so they've had a lot going for them, and I thought they did a great job considering all the things that they've had going on for them.
They sure did, and when we come back, we have the Trilby
String Band so far out of 25. 26 originally scheduled to march in this parade. One dropped out, I think, a couple of weeks ago. But they've been great so far. We've seen some amazing performances. Quaker City turned in a great performance again. Bill Bowen from Freilinger turned in a marvelous performance as captain. So things are just looking great here in the 1988 Mummers Parade.
We've really seen a lot of bands going back to some of the original traditions that they've had for years. And that's kind of fun to see the drill formations again.
Exactly. And keep in mind that this is not some sort of arbitrary performance. They have exactly 4 minutes to perform. They get up to that judging area once they start performing. If they go over 4 minutes, then they can be penalized severely. Now, when you consider that recently some of the first and second and third place positions have been determined by a point or two, you can imagine how important that 4-minute time limit becomes.
And the next group to have that 4-minute time limit is the original string band, the one that was there first back in 1901.
It's the Trilby String Band, and tonight their theme is TSOP, the sound of Philadelphia.
The captain is Phil Pesky. He's the marching captain. Phil Pesky Jr. is the marching captain. The captain is his daddy, and his daddy's going to be carrying his great-grandson with him.
Isn't that great? Now, remember, Phil Pesky last year was in a wheelchair, and it's nice to see him up and around. He's marching on his own into the judging area tonight. It was a really emotional sight last year, and it's good to see him up and about this year.
It is, and I can't wait to see his 9-month-old great-grandson, Jerry. We're going to see 4 generations of Peskys here.
Now, they've only had, they're a spectacular band. They've only had one first-place win. That was 46 years ago, so they're due.
This is their 90th anniversary.
Isn't that great?
Can you imagine?
Isn't that great? You gotta stand up and applaud for a string band like that, because there's got to be something right in the management of that group to allow them to go on for 90 years. And the crowd, if you can hear the crowd behind us.
They love Phil Pesky Sr. Everybody's so excited. They know this man. He was in a coma. They did not think that the man was going to pull through 2 years ago. And then when he was back last year in a wheelchair, was spectacular. Here we have him now. There's Phil Pesky. He's celebrating 50 years with Trilby today. 60 years as a mummer.
His golden anniversary today, and this crowd has given him a warm ovation, and you can hear the music from the Trilby String Band start up as they prepare their theme, TSOP, the sound of Philadelphia. music that Ben Franklin himself would be proud of, and certainly Phil Pesky is proud of. There you see him in the forefront of that shot, greeting Ben Franklin,
His son.
his son. An emotional moment here. The Trilby String Band presenting their theme, TSOP, the sound of Philadelphia.
And we're going to be back with the South Philadelphia String Band. They placed 5th last year, so you're not going to want to miss their performance when we come back. And the natives are restless as the jungle party gets underway. They have the theme of Hot Native Night.
Now, last year, this band placed 5th, and they are led by their captain, Alex Stu Stewart. He's been a police officer for 10 years. It's his 21st year as a mummer. This is the South Philadelphia String Band and Hot Native Night.
Philadelphia String Band with Hot Native Night. It wasn't enough to dance. This group had to sing as well.
They did.
A little bit of everything.
They were wonderful. Well, as the South Philadelphia String Band wraps up their performance, we're going to tell you now that Mummer history has been made today. The results of the Fancy Division are in, and Golden Sunrise has captured their 6th straight first place finish. Congratulations to Golden Sunrise. Never before has a Fancy Club finished in the top place 6 times in a row.
Golden Sunrise, Oregon, Klein, and Hog Island, the same as their marching position. And by the way, John Lucas, the captain of Golden Sunrise, also won. This is his 4th time. We're talking clean sweep.
Boy, congratulations to Golden Sunrise. And we'll be back in just a minute with more of the 1988 Mummers Parade. We'll be featuring the Greater Kensington String Band presents their theme, Go for Baroque. Greater Kensington might have called this presentation, Amadeus, You're a Mummer. Right?
I think you're right. Whoever thought that classical music would sound good on a glockenspiel and banjo and accordion, but it does.
It doesn't sound bad at all. As a matter of fact, it sounds fantastic, and they're still cooking. The Greater Kensington String Band. First place in 1979. They're in their 40th parade this year.
Joe Lippincott was the captain. Roll over, Beethoven.
The crowd saying thank you on this New Year's Day 1988 to the Greater Kensington String Band.
And next up is Garden State with When the Sun Bids the Moon Goodbye. And I tell you what, Greater Kensington doesn't want to say goodbye.
We'll be back.
Ablaze with the colors of yellow and orange as the Garden State String Band presents a musical tribute to the sun in the morning and the moon at night.
Led by Captain Frank Anello, here is the Garden State String Band.
Garden State String Band, and you know, we've seen this moon face 3 different times now.
Yeah, you know, I think that McDonald's, I guess
That's
we're going to have to
right.
mention a corporate name here. You hit on a gold mine here when they came up with that character, Mac, tonight, because he's shown up several times in
Just
the
like,
Mummers
remember the
Parade.
California Raisins last year? We saw them
Exactly.
every other
That's a
group.
real good point. All right, the band that calls itself the Family Band will be joining us when the 1988 Mummers Parade continues.
Captain Robert McLaughlin, he's making his debut as captain, but mummery is a family tradition in the McLaughlin household.
And here they are, getting ready to perform for the judges, the Ventnor City String Band. Seems to be on the side of the Ventnor City String Band. A lot of young members in that particular string band.
Here, their costumes maybe aren't as sophisticated as some of the ones that are sent out and done by such professionals. But this is what the old-time string bands were all about. It's a family affair.
That's a real good point, Diane. Well, Uptown is coming up the street, and they'll be performing.
New and improved version of the Uptown String Band. A band that hired professional choreographers, a makeup specialist, a costumer, a music arranger, all to put on this special performance.
That's right, the Uptown String Band with their theme of Carnival of Venice, led by Captain Joe Trinacria Jr. Here's the Uptown String Band.
We were just transported to St. Mark's Square in Venice for an old-fashioned carnival, thanks to the Uptown String Band.
Well, I got to tell you, it was a colorful one. It was the colors that we're looking at right now from the Uptown String Band are absolutely great.
I don't think there's any color that is not in there.
No, you're right. Every single one is there.
When we come back, we will have the winningest band on the...
This year, it's the 1890s and ragtime. And appropriately enough, their theme this year is called Rags Time.
They are, without question, the winningest band. They have 16 first places, and they hope to make it 17 today.
Well, the captain of the Perco String Band is appearing in his 31st consecutive parade. Now, not all of those have been with Perco. His name is Bill Spezial.
He's going to be doing a lot of dancing. In fact, we have seen an inordinate amount of dancing this year.
We really have. The
These
choreography
captains and...
has been abundant. Little trivia about the Furco String Band. They appeared in the movie Miracle on 34th Street with Natalie Wood.
And where is she when they need her? No, they don't need her at all. They're going to do ragtime, and they're going to do it just fine.
Ragtime, ladies and gentlemen, and the Furco String Band. This crowd was hoping for great things from the Furco String Band. Quite frankly, we were expecting them, and none of us were disappointed. A great performance by the Furco String Band led by Bill Spezial.
The crowd was cheering. Ray Murray was on his feet.
I am now. I am on my feet. I'm having a great time.
No
Does this have
question
to
about it.
end, by the way?
Oh, you know what? There's only one string band left.
Thank you very much.
It is the South Jersey String Band, but at least there's one more, Ray, when we come back. The last to come up the street, and their theme centers around saying goodbye while trying to capture the spirit of the parade.
That's right. It's called The Last Dance. Their captain is Russell Geiser Jr. The interesting thing about South Jersey is that for a band so young, they've done very well on Broad Street. After only 6 appearances in the parade, they finished in the top 10 3 times, and they've captured 2 captain's prizes.
So here's the South Jersey String Band with the theme, The Last Dance.